life on the road is something, it's not easy, but each venue presents its own challenges and unique challenges. And I think the Betty has as many challenges as anybody for coming in here. Do you perceive it that way? The Betty has a home court advantage that few teams in the league, not all of them, but a few teams can elevate to that level.
Absolutely. There's a huge advantage when we play in the Betty. Our record this season and our record, honestly, at home over the course of our program's history indicates that. We've had an incredibly good home record, and just as Maggie said, a lot of that has to do with we get a lot of fans in the Betty. We're an energy-based team. When we want to bring our own energy, but man, the fans really inject it into our team, and it gets us going, and it keeps us going. And so, you talk about some of the games. Even I remember there was a podcast last year, and one of the questions to one of the opposing players in the league was, "What's the toughest place to play?" And without hesitation, she said, "Grand Forks." Because the fans just absolutely brought energy and got after those teams, and we love it. We absolutely love it. It's a great place to play, and I hope that every one of our players feel that.
Few teams have that, right? Maybe the South Dakota schools, maybe,
yeah.
But and going on the road after you play in a tough environment like the Betty gives you confidence going on the road too, correct?
Yeah, well, definitely. We hear, I guess, from the fans a little bit more when we hit South Dakota than we do most places. So, yes, I would say that they have a little bit of that home court advantage as well. But, yeah, I mean, we want to take care of business at home. We want to put a great product on the floor no matter where we go, but definitely when we're sitting in the Betty. And, yeah, we hope that provides us some confidence when we do hit the road to these other places.
Any challenges? What are the challenges that these two teams present coming in this weekend?
Well, I'll tell you, they're third and fourth right now in the league, so they're having a really good season thus far. Omaha has a really good post inside, and they've really elevated their guard play. So they're a team right now that does need to have some people on watch, and we're definitely taking notice of it. In Denver, you look at what they have. I mean, they're leading the league, and they're a great offensive team right now. They're leading the league in some shooting categories, definitely shooting the three, and so. Yeah, we know that, again, just like we talked about defense, it's going to be defense for us this week. We've got to get stops. We've got to get back to who we were and locking teams down a little bit.
Before the last weekend, I mean, you were like number 2 in the league or something in defensive stats.
Yeah. Well, at one point we were top 25 in the nation with defensive scoring average. And so, yeah, we were doing a really good job. I'm going to assume, given up the giant numbers we did this last weekend, doesn't have us there anymore. But again, we've worked really hard on just getting back to what those principles are, getting back to how we actually handle each situation. We felt like maybe we were over concerned or deviated a little bit from our standard, and we're just going to try and get back to that.
Having just kind of wrapped up a really tough stretch of the season here, what are the coaching points and learning points for the team as you guys kind of look ahead?
Yeah, again, I go right to the defensive side. We haven't, and I'm going to knock on wood, we haven't had a game offensively where I've been overly concerned. It's what are we going to do on the other side. So I looked at our transition defense was a huge area that we needed to improve on, especially after going down to Fargo. We felt like they really took advantage of us there, and felt like we gave up some early last week, but then I know this is crazy, thought we did a good job defensively in transition on Saturday. It's those offensive rebounds. It's just everything on that side of the ball right now. We are hitting hard again. What are our principles? How are we helping? How are we recovering? How are we rotating? All those kinds of things. It's just shoring those things up. The offensive stuff will come to us. Let's just take care of the ball, get shots. We'll be fine. It's defense.
Don't mean to keep hammering the defensive side of things, but
let's hammer it all day. Let's go.
What do you think led to kind of that change? From the top of the league early on, and then kind of we mentioned that it fell off a little bit at that point. What do you think led to that? And how do you get the team kind of back on track as far as defense goes?
Yeah, as much as we, the players play, the coaches are installing game plans, and so I think as a staff, maybe I emphasized a little too much South Dakota's ability to shoot the three, and we felt like we got a little bit too tight to them and gave them some driving lanes. And so that's where, okay, what's our verbiage? How are we approaching things? How are we going to make sure we handle that? And so then on Saturday, South Dakota State's an incredibly balanced team. They have an incredibly tall lineup, especially compared to us. And we were really concerned with their ability to post us up inside. Well, we probably overhelped too much, and we saw them shoot 65% from three and got a lot of really open looks. And so it's a pick your poison, and I think at the end of the day it comes back to let's go to what we do. Instead of trying to maybe be overly concerned with defending the arc or overly concerned with defending the post, let's just get back to our principles where it's somewhere in between, where it's we can hopefully take away a little bit of both and not let anybody get comfortable.
Rakaya and Nakaya have been outstanding and pretty impressive considering two freshmen coming in, helping shore up an area that, coming into the season you said you needed some help with. So what can you say about how they performed for you so far?
Yeah, well, Nakaya is she's someone we'd love to have on the floor a little bit more, but we got to keep her out of foul trouble. I think she fouled out in like 8.5 minutes on Saturday. So we've got to keep her out of foul trouble. But yeah, she definitely provides some mismatch issues. You got to decide, are you going to guard her with a post player and then she can go outside and hit the three, and maybe Ju can drive a little bit on the perimeter, or are you going to defend her with a guard and we'll try and take you inside? So she definitely provides a little bit of that. And then to Rakaya, as we want to play with pace and as we want to try and put in a little bit more pressing stuff, her length, her ability to move definitely help us in those categories, and just on-ball defense. Okay, it's there's all sorts of like growing pains with a freshman, and so it's some of that stuff. Again, I'm going to talk only about defense because that's all I care about apparently. That the off-ball stuff, and those are the things that I think there's a little bit of the growing pains with freshmen trying to teach and learn those things.